Requiring little to no thought to build on a busy white day, the tuba one has to be the best starter for any solo, duo or trio. And after the success of the Cobra bass design, our release recently, many of you have been asking for something a little bit bigger. So today I introduce to you PEGASUS II, a highly revised version of an original bass I released in November 2021. Now, with a vastly improved wide gap shooting floor, inner peaks, better mobility, and of course, 2 multi-TC roof bunkers to protect your most precious loot in and offline. Easily expanded from a humble Tuba 1 starter with a triangle airlock, and extremely cheap build costs for the size of the bass. So first, I'll show you the upkeep of the external TCs. There are 4 in total. This one and the opposite external are both connected to the wide gap and also parts of the multi-TC shell. This is necessary for the bunkers to work and also makes the main TC upkeep considerably less. There are 4 separate gatehouses leading into the compound, but before we enter, I'll quickly show you the other 2 externals. These ones have really low upkeep as they're just connected to the wide gap. Should your main TC get destroyed, all externals are disconnectable, so you can easily replace it. Enter the compound through one of the gatehouses. These double triangle ones are really cheap to build and have really nice peaks looking in and out. These square gatehouses can be converted into compound bedrooms if you prefer. As you can see, there's plenty of space outside for all the deployables you need. Enter the base through one of the airlocked entrances located on either side. One major benefit of this new version over the PEGASUS V1 is that you can now run freely around the whole ground floor, and the locations of the 4 turrets give far better coverage of the shell. Use the ladder for quick access to the 3rd floor and shooting floor. Then shimmy down the chute to the core of the base. Down here, we have space for everything you need to get going, and of course the main TC, which is surrounded by 3 walls of protection. If you like, you can use this bunker to secure the base in the early stages of the build. To seal, place a triangle floor and a triangle roof on top, and just destroy the twig to open. Up on the 2nd floor, you'll find 2 4-box loot rooms and a respawn point. On the 3rd floor, there's another respawn point next to the inner peaks. As you can see, these ramp peaks give excellent angles to defend from, covering the majority of the shell. Use these gaps caused by the multi-TC footprint to guard your front door if needed. Twin roof bunkers are also located on this floor. To open them, drop down to the floor below and place a triangle roof through the floor from inside each loot room. Each bunker has space for 3 large boxes and 1 small. Plenty of space to store all your best loot. To close it, just shoot out the roof. Jumping up the chute to the 4th floor, you'll find 4 separate loot rooms. Loot storage was always a problem in the original version of the space, and in this new one, I managed to double the amount of large boxes. Up here, we also have 2 battery compartments and a level 3. Running outside through one of the 2 exits, we have the wide gap shooting floor, and ladder hatches which lead straight down to the ground floor if needed. As you can see, this wide gap provides really great peaks to defend from, which wrap around the entire base, ensuring there are no blind spots. In the 2 towers, you'll find these sneaky door peaks and a respawn point. If anyone gets on the roof, use the single door peak to take them down, and the garage door for a quick exit. On the other 2 sides of the base, we have 2 drop-down peaks. Jumping up here, there are more single door peaks onto the roof with another garage door exit. The roof is guarded by 4 turrets, with space for more if you wish, 2 SAM sites to protect against MLRS, the usual ramp peaks that you'll see on my bases, and a vending machine bunker. To open it, just place a regular roof like so. And lastly, here's the build cost and upkeep for the base. Easily manageable for a duo, trio or quad. Start off the build by putting down a 2x1. Everything in this tutorial will be built in its final grade, so just upgrade when you can. You should put the airlock on this side to make it easier to follow the tutorial, and use armoured doors for the highest raid cost to TC. As always, remember to lock your main TC, otherwise there's no point in having externals, as raiders can grief your base. Then build a shelf in the TC room by placing a triangle floor through the wall. When you're ready to expand, place 2 triangle foundations here, followed by a full wall and 2 half walls. Then place a single door. The half walls and single door are necessary for the bunker to work. You won't actually be able to use this bunker until later in the build. If you want to know why, follow the link in the corner. Now build an entrance on top of the base. This triangle should be upgraded to metal so the bunker can't be easily soft-sided. Leave the top of the entrance open so we can expand the base later. After that, add honeycomb all around the 2x1. These inside walls can be left stone as they just prevent splash. Now add 2 square foundations on either side of the base. Build a temporary roof here so you can access the base. Upgrade it to wood if you think anyone's going to shoot it out. You can easily machete it later. Next, surround the second floor with walls. And then seal in the top. Next, place a wall here and build the loot rooms. You can seal the loot rooms with a door or a window, it's up to you. Place a locker in this triangle with a window and an embrasure over it. Remember to lock the locker so only you can access it. Jumping up to the 3rd floor, extend the roof entrance. Again, leave the top of it open so we can expand. Then extend the roof ramp with the triangle roof. For this next part, make sure you're on the side of the base with the half walls for the bunker. We're going to build an external TC, so we can use the bunker and secure the base a bit better. To do this, we have to wall stack the base, so build out by 7 squares and a triangle. After that, remove all the squares and leave the triangle. Next, build back towards the base with a series of 4 half moons, followed by a hexagon with a triangle on each side. Upgrade these foundations, then remove the triangle build-up. This part of the base is not connected to the main TC, so now we're going to have to build the external. Build up by 2 triangles and 3 squares, upgrading the last square. Now build a half moon of triangles, a square, and 3 more triangles to form the external TC housing. It's extremely important to put 2 half walls here for the disconnecting mechanism to work. Next, seal in the TC with a series of windows and doors to make sure it's 8 rockets from every side. Then connect the external TC to the gatehouse with a series of frames like so. In the event that your main TC gets destroyed in a raid, you can disconnect all the externals by placing a foundation and a roof here. Due to the two half walls, this changes the stability of the frames, effectively disconnecting the external from the main base. Once you've replaced your main TC, replace the frames like so. Now to build the gatehouse. You can do this later if you wish, but I recommend doing it now to protect the foundation from being soft-sided. Make sure both door frames are metal, so it still costs 8 rockets to disconnect the external. Now, we need to connect the gatehouse to the wall stacked foundations. So place 2 metal walls here. Then a twig full wall, a half wall and a triangle. This enables you to place 2 triangle frames on the other side of the wall. Then remove the twig. After that, remove these twig foundations and build the wide gap. To do this, build a series of 5 triangle foundations like so, upgrading the last one to metal, and place 2 wall frames on it. Then build a half wall above the gatehouse and connect it to the 2 triangle frames with 2 square frames. Then connect the wide gap to the gatehouse with 2 wall frames. Now you can remove these twig foundations. Now you can see everything is connected to the external TC, so it won't decay. If you're at all confused, look at the cinematic that comes up in a minute. Now finally we can start using the bunker, and we place the wall frame either side of it. Again, if you watched my video that I recommended, you'll understand why. To build the bunker, do exactly the same as I showed in the tour. If you want to log off now, you can, the base will be perfectly secured. When you have more resources, build another external on the opposite side of the base. When editing the video, I realised there's one thing that I forgot. These 2 triangle foundations are actually not connected to anything. So build a wall frame here. And do the same on the opposite side. Now everything is finally connected. As mentioned before, watch the cinematic if I've boggled your mind. Next, we can start building the shell. So build 2 layers of walls all around the base. After that, secure the entrance on both sides. To cover these gaps caused by the wall stacking, you need to place frames from these angles. These frames must be stone, and these frames must be metal. If you choose to upgrade the entire shell to metal later on, the gaps will still be covered. As you can see, it's very important that the frames are rotated correctly, otherwise the gaps won't be covered. That's why we place them from the angles shown. Now do the same for all around the base, and place more frames in the middle to support the bunker. Now where the frames are placed, secure the entrance like so. Now build a wall frame here with a half wall on top. This is so we can place the floor for the ramp peak to sit on. Now replace the half wall with a full wall and another ceiling. The full wall here must be metal, otherwise if it gets destroyed you can't replace it due to the ramp, which is a current bug in the game. Now do the same on all 4 sides of the base. After securing the entrances, place a ladder here to access the third floor. Complete the ramp peaks by placing a frame and then the ramps. Make sure the triangle in all four corners is placed in this location so we can make use of this peak down. Then seal in these parts with two triangles on all four corners. Now this part is extremely important. Make sure the triangle is attached to the inner core of the base, not the outer core. Otherwise, there will be a gap in the bottom of your bunker. Do the same for the other side. Now finally seal in this triangle, put an entrance on either side. If you don't have a ladder hatch to put here yet, seal it in with a wood triangle and machete it out later. For the next part, build walls all around the third floor. I hope you can respect the fact that I'm not using symmetry for this. Next we're going to build the bunkers, so upgrade these triangles to armoured. Then place two full walls behind and make sure they're rotated so the hard side is facing towards you. Next place two triangle floors connecting to each other. Now seal the bunker with two full walls. Now you're going to notice there's a gap either side of the bunker. To seal the gap, just place a frame here, upgrading it to armoured and making sure it's rotated the correct way. Here you can see why this wall needs to be backwards in order to cover the gap. And do the same for the other side. See, no more gaps. Repeat this process on the opposite side of the base. Make sure the second triangle ceiling is connected correctly. As we already placed this wall, upgrade it to HQM and rotate it. After that, seal in the gaps like we did before. To complete the third floor, first place stone frames in these locations. Again, making sure they're rotated correctly to seal gaps in the shell. And stick a full wall here to seal off this part. Now repeat this on the opposite side. Opposite the jump up, put a full wall here. Another one here, and opposite that, put space for a locker. We're going to use a garage door to seal off the locker now. As I'll show you in a minute, the garage door helps seal in the gap above the locker. After that, add more doors to seal in the third floor. To seal the roof, jump up to the next floor. This is much easier to see what you're doing. Now add metal triangles either side of the bunker like so. Extremely important to make sure these triangles are placed in the locations shown, otherwise you will seal the bunker forever. make sure you've done it correctly, you should have a gap here. Now do the same for the opposite side. As you can see, the roller for the garage door covers this gap nicely. To make the base easier to defend in its current state, build a roof entrance here. These two triangles must be connected to this back wall. Again, I'll show you how to open the bunkers in case you missed it in the tour. To place a shelf in the bunker, build a half wall and a triangle here, and then another triangle through the wall, like so. To make sure the bunkers are as strong as possible, upgrade these foundations to armoured. Now we're going to build the other two external TCs so we can seal in the compound. To do this, place a twig square, a triangle, 3 more squares, and 1 more triangle. Now remove the build-up apart from the last triangle. Next build back towards the base with 5 triangles, a square, and then 2 triangle raised foundations. Again, remove all the twig, then build 3 triangle foundations. Then build another 2 triangle foundations to make the gatehouse. For the external TC, place a twig square, a triangle, 2 more squares, and then 2 stone triangles for the external. Again, remember your 2 half walls here for the disconnecting mechanism to work. Seal in this TC with a single door and a window to make it 4 rockets. There's no need to upgrade the housing to metal as they only upkeep the wide gap. Now build a wall frame here and connect it to the external with frames as shown. Using the same method as the other external TCs, we can disconnect these in the same way. Now complete the gatehouse with more doors and window peaks. Then build half walls on top with triangle floors to house the turret. Connect the gatehouse to the raised foundations with 2 wall frames like so. After that, repeat this step on the opposite side of the base. Here's a cinematic if you're at all confused. After all the externals and gatehouses are placed, we can build the compound. I sped this up as it's only a rough guide, as it really depends on the terrain that you're building on. After placing all the walls of the compound, build barricades on top of the gatehouses. Obviously, you'll need a ladder to do this. put another triangle here behind this gatehouse for another turret location. Now the compound is secure, I recommend starting to build the wide gap shooting floor, as it will make the base more defendable. You should do this before placing your furnaces, otherwise they might get in the way later. Upgrade these foundations to metal and then connect them together with wall frames as shown. Now repeat this step on the other side of the base. Now to build the wide gap from the other foundations. Again, repeat this step on the opposite side. Now we're going to extend the wide gap up to the 4th floor. Start by building the drop-down breach peaks. Copy this on the opposite side of the base. Now extend the wide gap on this side. It's very important to make sure these squares are attached to the main base, not the wide gap. After that, build half of the tower. We'll complete the rest later, but at the moment it will be good enough to make the base slightly more defendable. You don't have to put locks on these doors if you find it annoying for your team. Again, repeat this step on the opposite side. Now to complete the 4th floor, build walls all around with an entrance and a window here, making sure the window is upgraded to metal. To close this gap, make sure this wall is rotated correctly. If the window isn't metal, then the gap will still show. Now do the same for all 4 corners. For this wall, upgrade it to metal, then rotate it. Upgrade the other walls, then build the battery compartment. Make sure you crouch and look down to place the window frame. And do the same for the opposite side. Now build the 3 triangle loop room. And place wall frames all around. The garage door in front of the battery will help seal the gap in the roof. After that, build the square loop rooms, placing a half wall for the shelf. Place shelves in the 3 triangle loop rooms. build twig here, placing a triangle through the wall. And finally, place doors in all the wall frames. Jump up to the roof to seal it in, as we did with the floor below. Make sure these triangle pieces are connected correctly and the garage doors are facing the correct way to seal in gaps. You can even place rugs on top of the gaps to hide the garage doors. Now place a square frame attaching to the triangle on all sides of the base. Then place metal floors inside of the square frames. When the fourth floor is secure, finish the wide gap shooting floor. If you're worried about people soft siding into your shooting floor, put a door onto the single door peak up, but I recommend not to. Leaving the doorway open makes it faster to defend the roof. After completing both towers, place wall frames in these locations. Another wall frame here, making sure you can't fall out of the shooting floor. Again, repeat this process on the opposite side of the base. When you've done that, extend the wide gap and roof exits on this side. Again, repeat this process on the opposite side of the base. It's also very important to put some doors around your shooting floor to make sure that raiders can't gain control of it easily. Now from the roof, seal in the wide gap. And copy this process on the opposite side. Now seal in this part, making sure the triangles are connected correctly. Repeat this again over here. After that, build the roof defences. Start by placing a twig square here, which will make it easier to place the triangle roofs. Then build the window and ramp peak down. Repeat this process on all four sides of the base. After that, build the towers for the two wind turbines. You can place more wind turbines on the roof if you like, depending on how many batteries and turrets you have. For your SAM sites, I recommend placing them here to give them best coverage. If placed carefully enough, you can remove the twig triangles afterwards, so they're balanced on the wall frame. Lastly, build the vending machine bunker. Place an HQM wall, then the vending machines as close as possible to the wall. I recommend practicing this on a build server to make sure you get it right. If you want a helicopter garage on top of the base, you have to find a different place for the vending machines. Then place turrets on the roof in these locations. and around the shell under the ramp peaks. Well done, you managed to complete the base. If you've made it this far, make sure to leave a comment and like the video. Please? Yeah? Cheers.